Well, there will be a good time to remember because I just hit the record button. Cool. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh
Mm.
no.
Yeah. What was the movie, Zero? What did you go
I,
see?
I, I don't remember.
Actually, do we really care if it's a movie you saw and you don't remember it? Like if you saw it recently and
If
it's
I
already
saw
gone?
it gone, didn't stick with me.
I guess not.
Th-
Like holy shit.
Every now and then you're just like, let's go see a movie, and then you're like, that was an okay movie, and then you forget.
Mm. Yeah, those are the ones where it's like, oh, that wasn't worth the price of admission. It's fun to get out of the house, I guess.
Apparently, I just looked it up. Apparently, Scott Pilgrim versus the World is back in theaters for the 10th anniversary. That's interesting.
Wow, that I can't decide whether that film would be dated now or not.
It is.
Yeah, like, holy shit, 10th
I
anniversary.
re I,
That
re
was.
I rewatched it recently. It is dated.
Hmm. I forget. I read Scott Pilgrim. I didn't watch the film. Is I feel like they changed it in an adaptation so that it kind of missed the point, which was that Scott Pilgrim is a self-absorbed douchebag, and they just kind of missed that in the film, is what I heard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There's some you can see a bit of that, and it gets called out once or twice, but it's like having read some of the original like graphic novel. Um, it's nowhere near to the extent of the graphic novel of just constantly calling him out and forcing him to grow.
Yeah, that the end of that comic literally goes into like a spirit quest kind of thing of him realizing, oh yeah, I guess I am a piece of shit. Damn. But no, the video game narrative of fighting the evil ex-boyfriends, that's what got butts in seats, I guess. You know.
Mm.
If you want worthwhile stories, you can find them in comics, I guess. But the films don't really care about that shit.
Honestly, I don't think there was enough runtime to fully get everything in there.
Okay, to clarify what I just said, blockbuster films don't care about that shit.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Oof. And now I'm just thinking of Monster Hunter.
There's that Monster Hunter Rise out. Everybody's been playing it.
Yeah, I I'm
I,
kind of stuck between like there's Monster Hunter World and there's Monster Hunter Rise, and Rise is the Switch exclusive. So I'm assuming that
mhm.
Rise is not actually as good or feature complete as World, just by the nature of the platform.
uh, Actually, from what I've heard, Capcom and Nintendo have this pretty fun relationship where Capcom's like, "We need this thing for our game. You're going to do this thing so we can have our game." And Nintendo's like, "Okay, that's cool, fam. Let's go change our entire online infrastructure so your game can work and run well."
Wow,
Sure.
that's I mean I'm not sure how much I appreciate Nintendo only capitulating to fixing their online shit if one certain company says, "Hey, we need this," but okay. Like,
I've heard it. I've heard Rise is very good. Adds a whole bunch of things. Everybody can bring in either a dog or a palico in the online.
you
So
mean a Palamute?
yeah, Palamute or Palico, and so there's a lot of like I played the demo and it was a lot of fun.
I
So
watched Gura stream about 40 minutes of it.
mhm.
40 minutes did not get out of the tutorial, which seemed about right for my experience of Monster Hunter from when I played it on the DS.
Yeah,
So,
it seems like the game is meant to be easier to get into, and there's a lot of they put a lot of the harder stuff um closer to the end and the higher rank stuff.
hmm,
Like you'll hit credits and then you still haven't really fought some of the big boys.
hmm.
But I mean, I got a bunch of friends who are enjoying it immensely, so must be good.
Yeah,
It's all they're
makes it
talking about in another server.
makes sense to me.
Uh, whereas I went and I beat Near Replicant.
Yeah, is the speech still in it?
Yes,
The dumbass speech.
yes. I know which one I know which one you're referring to. That is still in it. It's just as good, if not a little bit better.
How could it be better? That's like,
Well, they re-recorded everything.
I mean, yeah, but it's like remastering the Mona Lisa. It's like, okay,
Higher graphical fidelity on the Mona Lisa.
yeah.
Um, I never played the original Nier.
Hmm,
I watched like a Let's Play of it, but I never actually went and played the original Nier.
I did.
And okay, have you played Nier Replicant at all?
Uh, by which I assume you mean the new one. No, I haven't.
Yeah. Okay. So, few things. That game plays very well. It has some automata stuff like the dodge roll turning into a sprint
Hmm.
when you're running around. If you actually dodge towards an enemy, you can do like a nothing personnel, like super dash around behind them,
Hmm.
which is really fun. Combat plays very well. Game looks amazing. Every line in that game is voiced now.
Hmm.
Every line of dialogue, and some of them are by the other voice actors. So you're like, oh hey, is that Kaine doing another voice
Oh, I
for
mean,
this one random NPC? And like, oh, is that Papa Near?
yeah, that makes me kind of sad because
The
that
extent
means
to
that
which
means they got him, and he was like, yeah, okay, I'm not the protagonist anymore. I'm just,
he's there is after you complete ending A, you can access the DLC of the original game, which lets you play as Papa Near and go through the 15 Nightmares thing, which is just a series of challenge rooms with remixed music and lots of enemies and a little bit of new areas. Where you just go full combo slay 'em all mode, and you can get some of the best weapons in the game because they're all based off like Drakengard
mm,
and the great sword that you get from that. If you upgrade it all the way, it has like 999 attack. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I really hope they do a DLC that is just Gestalt version 1.22, etc. And it's
Oh,
just they re-record like the 2 dozen lines from other characters that would refer to Nia as a little guy or something, and just have you know just have Papa Nia as the protagonist, and that's it. It's
it's
probably
interesting because uh, Baby Near has an entirely different dynamic with Kaine and Emil in them. I'd never seen that before because I only watched the Let's Play with the old man Papa Near. And they threw they threw in lots of quality of life elements and even a few cut content obviously.
mm,
Um, So, for example, in the second half of the game, there is now a boss that that you are going to fight at Seafront. There's a
Hmm.
whole like story there,
Yeah,
and there's
that whole village was basically just nothing. As far as events that actually happen, it didn't really have anything.
well, there's a lot more development there. There is a whole little story that they advertise as based off the Little Mermaid, which, knowing Yokotaro, involves sadness and death.
Yeah, it would be the original Anderson
Yeah.
Little Mermaid, not the.
hmm
I mean, you got to get that Sino Alice crossover in there somewhere, I guess.
Um, it's a really interesting. Um, I don't want to say anything about it, but that entire little arc is unlike a lot of the other things in the game because you go through a ship and it goes in the like 2D camera angle, and it feels like I'm playing some sort of horror game.
Hmm.
It's really interesting. Looking through, picking up clues, items. Um, and that boss is really fun and actually has extra content on Route C, which I thought was interesting
Hmm.
because mm, speaking of it, Route C has extra cutscenes. So it's not just once you get to ending B, the kind of playthrough after that. There's three new cutscenes featuring Popola and Devila and developing them a little bit more.
Hmm. Which
And
is
there's
kind of
additional,
needed, to be honest. Yeah.
hmm and there's additional content with that whole seafront boss. Because by the time you hit Route C, you're actually able to change that fight in a pretty interesting way. Because you're able to deal enough damage to that boss to cause it to, instead of doing one phase, do a different phase. And that different phase is kind of like a different fight at the end, and it ends up with a different cutscene that you
Hmm.
get later on, which is really cool.
Okay.
Um, and
And they
fishing.
added.
I want,
They changed fishing. Yeah.
yeah. So you can't fish in the wrong spot for shaman fish.
Yeah, that was a whole thing. That I hope they put something in to make fun of the guy that gave the game a bad review because he was fishing in the wrong spot. Just like
Like you have to,
something.
the game explicitly tells you go fish here, and if you try to fish anywhere else, it's like no, I gotta go fish over there.
Yeah, like um, if memory serves, I didn't get stopped at that point because there was an objective marker on
hmm
the map, the mini map. Uh, so it would be like, hey, go over there. And I guess that guy just didn't look at the map and didn't see it. So
hmm
that's a shame. But did they actually change the fishing as fishing or anything? Or well, I guess
I
actually
don't
I don't really
know.
care. It's fishing is
I
fishing.
don't have I don't have any point of comparison, but I will say I actually had fun fishing.
I didn't have a problem fishing in the original, so I don't really remember how the fishing worked though. So I can't really comment on whether there would be any improvements. Like even playing it, I probably would say I don't know whether this is different. It was forgettable, but it wasn't like a bad time, I guess.
Mm.
Like that movie
Well,
you saw.
yeah, I had fun with it, and I got to you get to the point obviously where you just like I have so much money that I don't need to go fishing anymore.
Hmm.
But like there's still some fun hidden extra high difficulty fish to find.
Hmm.
Super boss fish.
Yeah. I have to ask, did you do the gardening?
Yes, I started it, realized that I can't accelerate my clock on my PS5 to do it because the game now accounts for that,
Yep.
and then stopped.
Yep. That was how you got infinite money in the original version. Was you just cross pollinate until you get a Lunateer, and then make infinite Lunateers and thus infinite money.
I just need to do it for a quest of getting the pink moonflower seeds, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna beat this game before these seeds grow. And then I beat the game before the seeds grew.
Mm-hmm.
So, ugh. I'm not gonna sit around for that.
Yeah, that's always a weird mechanic of like, hey, the real time clock of yeah, you've got to wait a literal day, and if you get people
It's
to stop playing your game for a literal day, they'll forget how to play it. Like that's a
it's one
really
thing.
bad mechanic.
It's one thing if that is for like Animal Crossing, which is, oh, you do a little bit a day and then you stop and you go and do something else. But when you're playing a story-focused action game, it's like, okay, now wait 2 days for this flower to die, and then you get some indigo seeds, and then you have to go and use these indigo seeds and hope that there's a possibility that it will get you the pink moonflower seeds. And you need to get 10 of those. And this is going to take like a couple of weeks at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that is a bad mechanic. It doesn't work. Well, let's be real. It worked when you could change the internal clock of the console you were using.
Yes. At first, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a pain, but I can probably do this just by messing with the clock. And then I start to mess with the clock, and that's like, oh, no, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is you can change the time zone on your PS5 or PS4. Um, and at most make it like, oh, it's only a day now that you have to wait.
Mm.
Only 24 hours instead of 48 hours.
Yeah, isn't that so much better? No, no, it's
No,
not.
no. I'm not. It gets to the point where I'm not having fun with the game. I'm like, I'm gonna go play the game that I bought instead of this. And yeah, I hit ending B. I got to the C/D, and I decided to just go straight for ending D because I didn't want to go play through everything again.
Oh, you skipped a sad ending.
I've seen it on the
I guess you did
playthrough,
see
and
it on the original, yeah. So
and I will probably go back and watch it. Um, I just I didn't want to play through that whole ending sequence again, and I also knew of a little thing where it is possible after ending D to restore your save. And once your save is restored, you can just go to ending C.
you know they did add ending E into the game, right?
Yes,
Okay, just checking.
I did. I got to ending E.
Oh, cool.
So ending E is Yokotar wrote a short story.
He did.
That is ending E,
Yep.
basically.
I mean, yeah, it was originally like in the original game, it went to ending D. It would delete your save because it's a Yoko Taro game.
Yeah.
And well, actually, I think it was the first one to actually do that, if memory serves. I might be mistaken.
Yeah, yeah.
The three Drakengard fans that exist will probably yell at me if I'm wrong, but
I'm pretty sure it was the first one though.
yeah. Uh, so you get to ending D, it'll delete your save, and that would be it. And ending E was a thing that was in, I think, a data book or something. That yeah, we had to get fans to translate for us so we could actually see it, and it was this weird trippy thing involving that weird tree thing, and that was your ending E, and stuff happened in it that I won't spoil because that would be stupid. And they just added that to the game, is my understanding.
Hmm. So to kind of elaborate, to get ending E, after ending D deletes your save, you start the game again, and it won't let you pick the same name that you used before. So you gotta pick a different name, and then you play
Sorry.
through the game. What was that?
Sorry, I was adjusting my mic.
Okay, you play through the game like normal until you get to the part where um, you have to fight the boss at the Airy. Um, and you hit that boss, and then Kaine is down, and you go run over and you check on Kaine, and then Kaine wakes up, and everything you're doing was just a dream. And we go straight to the novel, and you get to play as Kaine, which is really cool.
Hmm.
And you get to play through ending E. I won't say exactly what's in ending E, but finally everybody gets to play as Kaine. She actually has a few unique moves,
Yeah.
and ending E is pretty short, only like an hour or so long, but it's worth it. Just a genuinely fun little experience.
Yep.
Like the game feels complete. I heard this mentioned somewhere else, but it's like if they took near original and had an extra year of development
Hmm.
and were able to add in all the things that they wanted to.
Hmm. Sort of. I feel like it's the combat in particular got a
Yeah,
real upgrade. Like the original,
that
you could tell what it was trying. It was trying to ape God of War's combat style. It was very
hmm
slow and methodical. Not like Dark Souls methodical, but like it wasn't like Devil May Cry and Bayonetta like Automata was. The original was much slower, much more deliberate moves, and this one seems to have picked up the Bayonetta style and taken some cues from Platinum Games, which is not a bad thing because
it,
the
it's
original
not
wasn't
as
bad.
as
The original wasn't bad. I will defend it as not bad. It was fine. It was adequate, but it wasn't that fun.
it's
Whereas the new
not
version
as
is more dynamic.
it's not as fast or as technical as Automata, but it's still pretty fast, and a lot of your complexity comes from the spells that you can do, and um, I genuinely like the move sets and the kind of the charge attacks for each weapon. I was rocking the spear for the majority of the game. It's just so much fun. But even the great sword, like once you get yourself a good great sword, that thing just clears rooms
Mm.
because you're just flying through the air with that thing. Good game.
Hmm.
Genuinely was very happy to play it and have the opportunity to play it after everything with Nier Automata and freaking now there's the in FF14 they added the final Nier raid,
Yeah.
which I still have yet to do that, so I can get the full Nier story through my veins.
When did that release? The final raid?
Uh, the final raid released. I think it was late last month.
Hmm.
Been out for a few weeks now. Um, because they did a new update for FF14, and that included the third and final near raid. And if you, I think one of the loot options is you can get one of those little stubby robots as a minion that follows you around, and it's really cute. And I got to see it. I was like, oh, because they have like a little for the other ones. They have like a 2B and a 2P and a 9S minion as well.
Hmm.
So you have a little chibi 2B follow you around if you want, but that one's really hard to get.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. The I saw the trailer for um that third raid, and the second raid was called Puppet's Bunker and had you go through the bunker.
Hmm.
The third one apparently is more referencing the tower that appears at
Yeah.
the end of Nier Automata.
Okay. Yeah. I someone did tell me what that last raid was. I wasn't sure until you said the tower. Yeah. So that's the thing. It is kind of what's it's kind of Automata and also that one Draken God ending that leads into Nier.
Okay,
So a little bit
interesting.
of both.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect. I haven't gone in there yet because I only just started playing it for 14 again. Um, After a long drought because I was focused on passing this test that I had to do for teaching credential program, which was like
Yeah.
every single subject. It's like you know about your math, your history, your social studies, your science, English, literature, teaching oral language, teaching written language, uh, music, uh, art, theater, everything.
Hmm.
And I think I did very well on it, but I haven't got my results back yet.
Yeah.
Takes a while to grade those. It's like 600-page study guide
Ooh.
with and the test itself was 5 hours long. Though I went in pretty confident and I finished an hour early, which yay. Checked
Yeah.
over all my answers and everything. I've always been pretty good at taking tests because I was a smart kid. I still am a smart cookie, despite my stupidity.
Hmm. Yeah. Stupidity tends to get in the way of things.
Uh, okay, I had a really good week because just yesterday I okay like for those Americans out there, stimulus checks are nice,
Hmm.
and I wasn't able to get my last two well, the first two stimulus checks because I had to do my taxes first. I did my taxes, and they just like, oh, by the way, here's two stimulus checks added on to that. Here's like $2,700, and I'm like, thanks, U.S. government, awesome.
Hmm.
I can buy like soup with that.
Soup's pretty
And
good.
then I got another check today. It's like, oh, by the way, here's another stimulus check. And I'm like, oh, I wasn't expecting this.
Why did you get so many in such a short time?
Because I was supposed to have gotten them months ago.
Oh, that explain it. Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, I have money. I guess I'll go buy Pokemon Snap now.
It's also
And
good. Soup is good, but I would argue Snap can be better on certain circumstances.
and maybe in a Reshkagol, Nendoroid, and a
Okay.
birthday present for my friend.
Hmm. It's Dawn and it's she doesn't listen to the podcast. It's an Atalanta thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an Atalanta figure.
Yeah, of course it is. Okay.
Because last time for Dawn's birthday, I got a Casgill plushie,
Hmm.
like one of those little bean things,
Yeah.
and she really loved that. So getting the Atalanta figure, which is one of her other favorite characters, and I'm
Really? I hadn't noticed.
getting my first piece of Arashi Girl merch because I don't have a single thing, and I don't like the one figure that they have where she has it's like an action shot. I'm like, I don't like that. It looks weird.
Hmm.
I'll get the Nendoroid because it's cute, and I don't feel as weird about buying that. I've had this weird aversion to buying figures.
Yeah.
It's just like, eh, uh, is this okay? But then I'm like, but wait, you spend all this money on gotcha games. This is more worth it.
Yeah. This is an actual thing that exists that you have and isn't a line of code that you won't have as soon as the game shuts down.
And then all that apprehension goes away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh,
Yeah. You know what I would
maybe I'll
like
buy
to
some
buy
things.
if I
Yeah,
literally was
yeah.
capable of doing so? One of those Fumo things. Those were adorable.
Fumo?
Yeah, it's little plush things.
Oh,
Yeah, you Googled it, I assume.
yes, I Googled it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen so many videos of them doing stupid shit with those things that, yeah, okay, that's good marketing. I totally want one. They're adorable.
I, yeah, they are. Seeing a lot of Toho ones.
Yeah, they are mostly Toho. That's why that is. And they are also they do limited runs for all of them, and they sell out very very quickly. So it is.
I found an Among Us plush.
I was feeling so much better until you said that, man. Why would you say that?
No, I would. Okay, literally,
Old
like
Among Us. Ooh. Mm.
okay, a few weeks ago, I went down to like downtown and looked in a few stores, and they straight up just had rows of Among Us plushies.
Mm. Yeah, well, if you get to that level of saturation, then fuck it. Why not at that point? Because it's the level of saturation where people start actually hating the source material.
I
Yeah.
te as a substitute teacher, you get to teach kids, and all the kids know Among Us. They talk about it a lot. They want to play Among Us at recess.
Yeah, you've talked about this, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I haven't played that game in weeks.
Yep.
I only played it once when the new map came out, but it's still going strong.
Yep. I will give it this. As obsessions of the youth go, it's better than fucking Fortnite.
Yeah, one's a indie game that has a fun idea, and the other is Fortnite.
Yep. Which was, you know, a gigantic corporation having a fun idea, granted, and then an incredibly cynical cash grab of doing, let's just slap a battle royale on this thing and see what happens.
Hmm.
Question mark, question mark, question mark. Several $billion. Yeah. So
Oh,
I
hey.
do not begrudge the Among Us devs their success. I am very happy for them. I hope they do great things in the future that are not Among Us. Um,
Yeah.
like,
Well,
can't say they
they
don't
had
have a budget now. Holy shit.
they had a really like having that sort of asymmetrical gameplay, but this one being more of a like there's lots of games where you have somebody who's an imposter and they're trying to blend in, but those
Yeah.
tend to be physical games, like board games or card games, where
Uh,
you're all sitting around a table.
there are some.
There's
Like,
oh
I mean, you look at all the Gmod things where it's like Trouble in
yeah,
Terrorist Town or Murder and
but
all
those
that
are but
stuff.
that's Gmod. Gmod has every single game under the sun in it.
Yeah,
Like
this
actually like
in fairness, this is just Among Us is kind of just taking that concept and being like, oh hey, let's just design an entire game around this, and
Mhm.
it was a really good, smart idea to do that because those games are very popular, and to actually be able to monetize them is yeah, it took a while, but it made them bank.
Yeah, and there's some like Gmod things where it's like if this was a full game, I'd probably have a lot of fun. Like prop hunt,
Yeah,
that would be super fun. If that were like a full game that I could play online with my friends easily instead of having to try to see if I could work something through Gmod, which
yeah. If there was
nobody
just
really
like
plays
a
anymore.
dev that would just put those three Gmod games in one compilation, like Trouble in Terrorist Town, Murder, Prop Hunt, that would be fantastic.
Hmm.
Just like an actual game that's built around playing it, and you can just go nuts with it. That would be fantastic. And cut out all this Gmod crap because no one cares.
Exactly.
Mm.
Uh, yeah. Um, I think that it's been a rising trend of the more asymmetrical games
Mm.
where you have one player against many. It's actually that was always one of my favorite modes in like Mario Party was the one versus three games
Yeah.
where like you
Yeah.
get the one is either the advantage or the disadvantage.
Yeah, that was always the downside of them, though. There was always the advantage or disadvantage. You got really lucky or you got really unlucky. And 90% of the time, one side would win in those games.
Hmm.
So
But the
it's
social aspect,
tricky to get the balance right so
yeah,
that it feels like anyone can win.
exactly. Even like with Among Us, you're always fiddling with settings to make it more fair.
Yeah.
Uh, I also so my dad bought Resident Evil Village,
Hmm.
Resident Evil 8.
Totally.
And yeah,
Sorry, you just have to say "tall lady" every time the village gets brought up
old lady.
because you know, tall lady. That's what
Uh
that game's about now.
well,
Even though she's like not that big a deal in it.
she's like the first boss, and then she's like gone after that.
Yep.
That game is I got to play a little bit of it because I was helping my dad out with it. And he has trouble um with directions in video games and he gets lost a lot of the time. I'm like, Dad, you're looking at the map. Go that way. And he goes the opposite way.
Mm,
But he's been a long time Resident Evil fan, and I've been a long time helping him not get lost in these games. That game's very fun.
is your dad secretly filming Let's Plays while he does this? Because that just sounds like every Let's Player that I've ever seen.
That'd be hilarious. So something cool, I want to bring up, and this
Mm,
is the first time I really got to experience it.
mm,
So the PS5 controller has this thing where it can add resistance to the triggers,
yeah.
and it does that in this game where depending on the gun you have, and the gun that you're using, it has less or more resistance
Hmm.
when you go to aim. Right? So the heavier gun, your shotgun's gonna take a little bit more strength to bring up to aim and shoot.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I'm not gonna
But the
lie, I
pistol,
like that.
the pistol being lighter is just like a real quick bring it up and shoot.
Hmm.
And I really like that. It's a super nice touch. And my dad went through the first couple hours of the game without realizing there was a map because you have to push the middle button that is like the touchpad.
Ugh, I fucking hate that thing.
Game looks great though. Like, oh my gosh.
Hmm.
Because it's the I guess it's the first PS5 like proper game that um I've gotten to really see aside from, Demon Souls, which was a remake.
Hmm. There was,
And
I'm sure there was another one that was like an actual game when it first came out. I forget what it was. The PS5 launch was so long ago, dude. Holy shit.
yeah, it
Still no one
was.
has one. Except for you, asshole.
I had to fight for that thing. The
You
the
did.
the the site told me that I couldn't buy it, and then I kept trying and bashing my head against the wall until I could.
It's 2 fucking years after release and people are still fighting the scav.
It's not 2 years.
It's basically, it's 19 months.
Didn't it come out like last year?
No, it came out the year before, didn't it?
Uh, let me double check. No,
I've...
it came out. It came out November of last year.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to get out of this flat, dude. My sense of time is fucked. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Okay. Wow. Alright. Oh, shit.
You need to get out, my dude. I'm a bit worried for you now.
Oh, holy shit. I've honestly thought, like, it's been out for well over a year for so long. Oh my god. Oh, okay. Yep. Alright, so, yeah, PS5 games, whatever. Cyberpunk, that was the one that came out, like, right at the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk, which I haven't tried that on the PS5 yet because I'm waiting to get as many juicy updates as possible before I even try.
Hmm. I mean, it
However,
works on PS5. That was never a problem. It works on PS5.
okay.
You will
Well,
occasionally
next
run
month,
into glitches as you would in a Bethesda game. It's
yeah.
that level of glitchy. It happens, it's notable, but it won't ruin your life. You will have a fine
Uh,
experience with it.
mhm. Next month is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Oh, I want it.
Uh,
I want it.
it's coming out June 11th, and then in September, what I've been waiting for, Tales of Arise.
I don't know what that is. I don't care.
It's the next Tales of game,
I mean, yeah. It doesn't mean I
and
care.
it looks fantastic. I
Sure.
want to.
Sorry.
I like.
This is one of those series where I'm like, checked out. But you talk about it. You have fun. Sorry. I'll stop interrupting.
It's the reason why I'm excited is because the Tales of games are uh, they're action RPGs,
Mm.
and the graphics on this thing look, obviously amazing because it has the, anime art style. That means that with that bit of shading, that there's a lot more that they can do with the system than like if they're to go for straight realism.
Mm.
So I'm really interested to see how that looks and how that plays. Plus, every game that they come out with is better than the last. Especially with the Tales of games. Like if you go back, it's really bad. But if you go to the latest one, which was Berseria plays really well and has a very fun combat system. So, yay. Also, Returnal came out.
I don't even know what that is.
That was one of those things that they were like, well, here's Returnal. It's the new thing, and it's a lady, and she's in space, and she's Angie.
Okay.
It's apparently like a procedural world. Um, I've heard some good things about it. I've yet to try it,
Hmm.
and I've yet to care about it.
Hmm.
But I don't know. Maybe if somebody whose opinion I trust says it's good, I might give it a try.
You haven't even said what kind of game it is.
It's your space, and you land on an alien planet, and you shoot the aliens and
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Apparently, you die over and over again because it's kind of like a roguelike thing as well.
Mm.
So I don't. I know almost nothing about this game.
Hmm.
Not gonna lie.
Guess
Only
they
like
kind
what I've.
of bungled the marketing on that one.
Is the trailer that they initially released was all dramatic and camera angles and oh she's crashed on this alien planet and oh no she died and now she's back here again. And I'm like, is this what is this? Is this Alien Dark Souls? I don't know.
Mm. It's one of those circumstances where it's like, hey, maybe you should have focused more on saying what the game is than being fancy and dramatic.
Here's what it says. The procedural world of Returnal invites you to dust yourself off in the face of defeat and take on new, evolving challenges with every rebirth. Rebirth is capitalized. After crash landing on a shape-shifting world, Celine, which is not capitalized by the way, must search the barren landscape of an alien ancient civilization for her escape, which is capitalized.
The fuck?
Isolated and alone, she finds herself fighting tooth and nail for survival. Again and again, she's defeated, forced to restart her journey every time she dies.
Okay, so it's a roguelike for the sake of being a roguelike and it doesn't actually have any plot significance from the sound of it.
I don't know.
Fucking whatever.
I don't care. I want Ratchet and Clank, please.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you.
sounds good.
I'll take that. I'll take Tales of Arise. I'll take the new Final Fantasy game whenever that comes out. 16.
Well, there's a trailer for that. Hopefully it's a bit more cohesive than 15 was.
It's being made by the people, by the guy who works on 14.
Yep.
And 14, as of late, has been really good with its storytelling.
And from what I know, Nomura has nothing to do with it, so that's a plus.
Yes, so everybody I know who plays 14 is very excited for it. Dude even uses some terminology from 14 in the trailer. So probably some similarities in terms of that, but it's not like you're going to need to play 14 or anything to understand it.
And it won't be the same gameplay-wise because, well...
Yeah, obviously.
Let's be real, 14's gameplay is a little dated. Even when it did its reboot, it is very WoW. Which does not fit for a single-player long-form RPG. That doesn't work.
I will say, though, high level 14, playing as a ninja, I am constantly pressing buttons and doing things, and it's very exciting, and I cannot talk to anybody while I'm playing that game. Because I have to focus on maximizing my damage. Which is very fun. Ninja is like...
It is one of those games where I'm constantly like, maybe, and then I don't.
When I started playing it,
it.
obviously I have a huge group of friends who play it, so I have people to play it with, so it feels like less of a I'm gonna play this game and more like I want to play a game with my friends. What's everybody doing right now? Okay, I'll jump in and play that.
Yeah, I never want to play a game with friends, so that's not really an appeal for me. Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of story, but I don't think I would have gone through the first couple, like the first 1 or the first 2.0 and then 3.0, which is the first main story thing, and then the first expansion. I really didn't like them story wise. I feel like the first expansion gets better after you hit the credits and do the patch quests. But it wasn't until the second expansion that I started really being engaged with the story. And if I didn't have friends that I was playing this with, and I didn't have the reassurances that it's gonna be better, don't worry, I don't know if I would have stuck around. Still, there is like a Monster Hunter collaboration in that game, and you can go and get a Rathalos as a mount and fight a Rathalos as a boss. But yeah. Um, trying to think what else I've really been doing lately, but I've been going on for a while about just dumb stuff.
Mm.
The new season of My Hero Academia is still going on.
Oh God, fuck! I keep forgetting to watch it.
They're on match three of Class A versus Class B.
Huh. I well, I was
That
gonna
is the
say I
one where
forget. Okay.
you have Ida and Shoto Todoroki working together
Hmm.
versus Class B, which has the guy whose power is to soften everything, as well as Pony, who is the American transfer student who can fire her horns.
Yeah.
That's
Oh.
pretty cool.
Hmm.
I got into this weird mood where I was watching reviews and critiques of Balan Wonderworld,
What?
a game that I have no intention of playing. I'm like, I wonder what people are saying about this game. Oh, yeah. This game is apparently like broken in a lot of ways and apparently has really good levels, but only at the end after you beat the majority of the game. And also the story of the game is only in a novel, a separate novel,
Hmm.
which that's a confusing sort of thing to remove the story from a game and then sell it in a novel.
Hmm. Well, I mean, I want to say something did that, but I can't remember what. There have been games that have done that, and they were worth mockery, but they have also been forgotten, which is also deserved. So
I think about you remember The Force Unleashed?
Yes.
That had a tie-in novel, a novelization of it rather, of the
Hmm.
story, which wasn't exactly like, oh, we're gonna, you know, explain the story in here, but it was turning it into a full-on novel, and it was actually, I remember liking it a lot
Hmm.
as a novel, and a bit disappointed that the game wasn't like the novel.
Hmm.
Because obviously with the novel you get more information on the characters. The characters get to talk in the downtime, which you would just be like loading screen, you know?
Yeah.
There's character growth, character development, getting to see these characters' thoughts.
That would be in the game if it was an RPG, but it was an action game designed around the I forget what it was called. The AI that would like do weird things if they were being thrown around. Like if people were thrown against each other, they would grab onto each other and stuff and things like that.
Hmm. Yeah.
It was built around
It,
that, and that's fine. But story,
it's interesting because Jedi Last Order basically did the thing that the book for Force Unleashed did, where you have a cast of characters that talk to each other a lot more, and they're on your ship, and you can talk to them, and they have their separate sort of goals and objectives and um, unique dialogue.
yeah.
Like somebody learned from that at least. As
It
Jedi
wasn't
Fallen Order, yeah.
EA, but it's fine. I feel like Respawn really had to fight to have that stuff in the game because EA are cunts.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, we know for a fact that they did because of the whole Amy Hennig situation. So,
Hmm.
fucking EA.
So, how's your week been?
It's been okay for the most part. Um, yeah. The fuck did I do for the past 3 weeks? I forgot how to pronounce weeks to the point it's now beaks. So, I finished Falcon and Winter Soldier. That was pretty
Okay.
good. I like how that ended.
I
Uh,
also like how it ended. I saw some people didn't like how it ended. But I personally was satisfied with that.
I can imagine certain groups who would be very unsatisfied with how it ended, which the show acknowledges. Uh, hmm. Uh, yeah, but I'm trying to figure out how to talk about this while dancing around spoiling the ending of a show that came out about a month ago. Maybe we come back to that and see if, we do a spoilery thing at the end, like we used to do back in
Yeah.
the good old days. Uh, yeah, so I've been doing that. That was a thing that I saw. It was good. I enjoyed it. What else did I do? Oh, I finished watching Futurama from start to finish. And yeah, I remember saying, hey, I watched every single episode of the first few seasons, and every single one of them was a classic that I remembered start to finish. Uh,
And then you hit the parts that you don't.
that stopped happening after the films. It was like, oh, uh, I think, oh yeah, this is the one where they're making fun of iPhone. Um, it was the one. Oh yeah, the one that had Amelia Clark in it, and she's not a very good voice actress. Uh, yeah. And there was flanderizations of stuff like Fry is now Homer, basically like current Homer, where he's a very stupid person. Like I would say a comically stupid person if it were funny, but it's not. Uh,
The just here's the idiot ball. Now just hold it to your chest and put your mouth on it.
he forgets how to count to three in one episode.
Excuse me?
Yeah. No, wait. It was he's making a deal with the robot devil. Because the robot devil has Calculon's soul, and he's like, we're gonna bring Calculon back to life so he can be on all my circuits again, the soap opera, because it's gone to shit since he died. So Calculon's really annoying. So the robot devil is like, okay, sure, we'll gamble for Calculon's soul. If you guess the number I'm thinking, then you can have him back. It is a number between 1 or 3, not including. And he says like 7 or something.
That's doesn't sound like a very funny joke.
Yeah, it's not. Like, there were a lot of jokes like that where it was. He's dumb in a really unexpected way, except when you keep doing it, it stops being unexpected, and we know the joke that's coming because it's really lazy, and it's the first joke that anyone would think of.
Come on, guys. You guys are smarter than that.
They
You're smarter writers than that.
genuinely are. Yeah, that was kind of the thing about Futurama. It was stupidly intelligently written. But that stopped being a thing in the last couple of seasons, I guess. I did like the last episode and how it ended, though, I will say. That was a very good send-off for the show.
Well, that's good at least.
Yeah.
I've only seen like a few episodes of Futurama. I just ones that I caught, here and there. So I'd be as interested to do a full watch as well and just see what I would think of that.
Yeah. I would fully recommend the first 4 or 5. It depends on, like, Amazon has it listed wrong. It's supposed to be first 4 seasons, but they split it into 5 for no reason. those first few seasons and the films. Third film's a bit wonky, but other than that, yeah, it is all good up to that point. Then it starts being a bit shaky after that. Then it gets really shaky when you get to like season 9 and 10. So that was. I'm glad I watched all of it and like caught up with the ones that I missed because I fell off because the show started being shit. So, it was good to finally get the full picture of that show in my mind, so I can be like, yeah, I'll watch the first few seasons again and never the rest of it. Yeah, so that was fun. Hi, Slicer.
Hi, Slicer.
Hello. What show are you talking about?
Futurama.
Ah.
What were you going to say, Zero?
I was thinking about how different some shows are from latest season to like earliest season. Like you think about the Simpsons, obviously, right?
Yeah,
But also
last time we were on, I talked about like watching the first few episodes of The Simpsons and how bafflingly different Homer is as a character from even the point I stopped watching, which was like season 15 or something.
and like even with say like Family Guy, it's a very different type of show.
I wouldn't even know on that one.
Because the thing that happens to like the worst Family Guy episodes are the ones where they have the most cutaway gags. Because the cutaway gag is like, oh, that reminds me of that one time, and then they cut away to a completely different situation to do a joke.
Because they can't write jokes in the scenes that they actually have set up, which is really a bad sign for a comedy writer. Like,
yeah. So those are the worst that show has to offer is when it has like the most of that. But any show that goes on long enough is going to have more and more imperfections introduced, I guess. It's typically why it's like just 1 or 2 seasons is usually going to be good. For
Have you
any
guys
show.
seen Super Eye Patch Wolf's video about The Simpsons?
oh yeah,
I did.
Both of them, yeah.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, his section about Homer is very relevant to what you just said. I assume that's why. He's just not a nuanced character at all anymore. He's just a selfish asshole.
Yeah. I did realize, I guess I figured what the problem is for Family Guy, and that's just that they don't know how to write funny dialogue. Like, that's always the scene that gets cut away from, is just people talking, and then they'll suddenly say, hey, remember this thing? And switch to a scene where a thing is happening, where actions are funny, but they had to get there by cutting away from dialogue, which evidently they couldn't make funny.
That's not to say there aren't like scenes that are funny and there's dialogue that like there's plenty of dialogue that's funny in the better episodes. You're like, oh yeah, no, this is great. But in the cutaway heavy episodes, you're just like, okay, that was a funny joke. It's not really relevant to anything that's going on right now.
But it's great to put up on YouTube. Oh wait, they shit can anything that goes up on YouTube. Never mind.
Officially, yeah. Things don't tend to stay very long.
Family Guy is the type of show that you watch when you honestly just don't want to think.
There's quite a few shows like that, so it has competition, which is not to its benefit.
Yeah.
Because if you start thinking about Family Guy, you're gonna want to stop watching it.
Yeah. Oh well. Family Guy is a show that I wrote off a long time ago, so I don't exactly feel any sadness for it. I mean, as far as I'm aware, Seth MacFarlane actually wants the show to die as well, but Fox won't let it.
Yeah, he's working on other projects.
Yeah.
Well, there's that one space show that he was doing that he seemed really invested in, the
Mm.
Orville or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Orville, and that was pretty good. Honestly, it's a bit pretentious in some episodes, but it wasn't
I
bad.
mean, it's Seth MacFarlane. That kind of makes sense.
But yeah, I didn't expect anything less.
You know what's fun? Shit talking
What?
really, really famous and successful people from our like nowhere space on the internet. It's great.
Yeah,
We can punch up as much as we can because it's so high up.
Yeah, it's so fucking high up.
getting further every day.
Yep. They're on top of the fucking Empire State Building, and we're like in sub basement 6. So yeah, never mind. Yeah, I can't really think of much else that I did, to be honest. Yeah, other than freaking the fuck out about things that I can't control. So, but we're gonna skip past that. That's not really a thing we need to talk about. How you doing, Slicer?
You kind of cut out there. Did you mean me or Zero?
You.
A uselesser.
Oh, doing good. Work has continued to be okay. I've been stuck on cardboard collecting for the past year, which is not actually my team's job, but the team that normally does it is so short-staffed that they cannot spare even a single person. Which sounds unbelievable until you consider they're down 17 people. Their entire crew has a max of like 30 at full size. So it's, it's not great for them. So I don't mind too much. Yeah, so that kind of sucks for them. Let's see. I watched High Rise Hotel recently, or High Rise Invasion. The first couple episodes. I really like the character designs in that show. First off, visuals are very impressive overall, and I like the main character's design. She's, actually like human shaped.
Yes.
She's not super thin or anything, so that's nice. And it's not like sexual thickness. It's just like she's just a regular human width person.
So, High Rise Invasion is a anime. It just came recently to Netflix, I believe.
Is it a Netflix funded one, or is it just like a thing that they bought, like Full Metal Alchemist?
It says Netflix original anime, so I think it's one they funded. Maybe.
I remember I read the manga for this one. And it goes places. It really goes places. You want to talk about the premise for this high-rise invasion?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so it's called that because everyone winds up on this other world, kind of. It's kind of implied. I've only seen the first couple episodes, so that's all they find out that soon. But everyone winds up in this other world where it's entirely high-rise buildings. All the stairways to the lower levels have all been blocked off, so they can't get to the ground. And every building is connected by rope bridges and things like that, so they just have to exist on the top of these buildings. There's people wearing masks who seem to be programmed in some way by these masks to just kill them, or rather brutalize them so much that the people that wind up on this world jump to their death. And that is the point, to farm despair, essentially. And so the main character shows up and holds her own pretty well. I appreciate her mindset, even if it is very fluid most times. Yeah, so there's a number of different unique masked villains that start showing up, and they're all very distinct, which is nice. They're not just faceless bad guys, ironically.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm posting a few images for reference for Casey.
Hmm.
Um, yeah,
Oh shit! It's
characters are
anonymous.
yeah,
Yeah, pretty much.
characters are forced into situations where they are atop buildings and skyscrapers and have to move between these buildings, cannot get access to the ground floor, and are being chased and hunted by these um, mask-wearing people that all have their own unique way of fighting, their own weapons that they use, and their own personalities.
Hmm.
Which means they're all going to try to fight them differently.
Yeah. I feel like I should go back and explain my joke from before. So, kids, Anonymous, back in the day, were a bunch of shitheads who saw V for Vendetta and thought that was really cool. V for Vendetta, by the way, is a film vaguely based on the Guy Fawkes attempted terrorist bombing of Parliament. And they thought those masks were really cool, and being cyber terrorists was a fun idea, so they did that for a while, and then everyone forgot about them because they were useless and pointless and didn't really do anything worthwhile.
They did for a while, and then it became less that and more a bunch of people being arrogant for no actual reason.
Oh, and Medjed were vaguely based on them in Persona 5.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's true. I actually forgot about that.
Yeah, so there you go. History lesson for the kiddies.
Yeah, so how would you describe the main character's personality? Because she seems like a pacifist until proven otherwise, unless it's a mask wearing person, and then it's just time to kill.
She is uh she's a bit of a weirdo, really.
Yes, it's very
Um
strange. It's hard to describe her.
and she kind of adapts to the world and its circumstances very quickly and very well. In comparison to a lot of other people who just kind of show up in this world and die. Like, she wants to find her brother, or contact him and be with her brother because she loves her brother. He is important family to her.
A
And she's
lot.
like,
It's not subtle.
well, if I gotta kill these things to get to my brother, sure, let's go.
I guess everyone gets to die.
Hmm.
Everybody's a little bit twisted.
Yes, that is one of the early plot points that comes up very quickly. Is like either adapt or die, and some people's version of adaptation is just ruthlessness to the point of like completely shutting your emotions off.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and for people interested, there is sexual tension between the two main characters, and they're both female. So there you go. You get that. If that's your thing, if that attracts you to the show more.
Why did adaptation become a word?
It'd be adaptation.
Well, in the context, it would be adapting, but yeah.
Mm.
I just hear it all over the place now, and it's like nails on a chalkboard because it's not a word. But English evolves to meet the needs, and I don't actually have a really good coherent reason why it shouldn't be adaptation instead of adaptation.
My reading is because I'm a lazy American and I don't know the difference when I'm speaking. So, I mean, that's me. I don't know about anyone else.
So, I feel like I should mention. I just thought of it. I watched the first episode of Invincible.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I've
just
been
finished
meaning
that
to
on
watch
Sunday
that.
actually. So, watch it. Watch it.
I'm gonna be watching it with my dad because we like superhero things and we watch them together.
Oh boy. I feel like
I
having watched a trailer, that's going to be a thing.
you know
It's a nice father son show.
I actually agree with you. Having seen the whole show, I think it will enhance your experience if you guys watch it together.
Yeah, the first episode, you get to meet your main character, who is like the son of Omni-Man, who is this world's Superman, basically. And there's this whole
One of two. Immortal is kind of also a Superman XP,
Okay.
but yeah, more so for Omni-Man. He has all of the same powers.
Yeah,
Roughly.
and you have your own sort of Justice League and
The Guardians of the Globe.
the Guardians of the Globe. By the way, wasn't this written by guy who did Walking Dead?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, Robert Kirkman. Um, and the main character, is like, oh, I'm waiting for my superpowers to kick in, and then, boom, superpowers kick in. Time to get some superpower training with dear old dad. Find a little bit of crime, get a super suit, And I'm the superhero Invincible, and you have this nice little first episode origin story, basically. And then murder happens. A lot of murder.
Oh boy. Ooh boy.
Visceral
There's a lot of
murder. And I don't know what's going on. I have no clue why that murder happened the way it did.
Both story-related murder and just fights between superpowered people rarely end bloodlessly. Like the show does not shy away from. If you punch someone with super strength, they're going to turn to paste.
You punch your fist through their head. And
Yeah, that's there's some scenes in that first episode, especially near the end, that actually made me nauseous. Like I was uncomfortable.
Lovely. It was I mean, my dad are watching this. Our mom's just there waiting to watch her reality show about people who work on fancy boats.
Oh.
And
Okay.
And then she's just kind of there witnessing that last scene with me and my dad.
Wow. Okay, so I was waiting for whatever you were going to say that reality TV show was, and there are a lot of possibilities in my mind, all of them kind of funny, but people who work on fancy boats blew all of them out of the water.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
It's called Below Decks.
Oh, Jesus.
They work on yachts that people charter and go out and do things. And there's behind the scenes drama to these people who work on these fancy boats.
Yep. Okay.
My mom's the type of person who has trouble getting into comic book stuff because it's not real.
Oh, this was a good show for that, I guess.
But yeah, I'm very excited to watch more. What else did you do this week, Slicer?
Let's see. I got Resident Evil 8. I subsequently beat Resident Evil 8 in a day. Not as long of a game as I was expecting. I think my first playthrough took 11 hours. and that was with me like trying to go out of my way to collect everything. Thankfully, in the game, when you pull up the map, the sections are red if they have something in them still, and they're blue if they don't. So I really like that feature. It makes things so much better. You're not searching around an area for nothing.
Despite that, my dad still gets lost.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. The game is, I mean, especially the village part of the game called Village, is confusing, and sections get blocked off as you progress through the game, so it can be confusing. So I was amused to discover that despite featuring in 100% of the promotional material, Lady Dimisk, or whatever the hell her name is,
Dimiskira, Dimitris,
whatever,
I don't know,
that French or something. She features in like the first hour of the game, and then she's done, and that's it. Her section is essentially a really long tutorial.
Yep.
Her boss fight is not excessively difficult. It's very good. It's very good. I'm not talking down her section of the game. It's very nice. But I expected more from a character who was in all of the promotional material. So that was a fun discovery. My overall opinion of the game is that it's great as long as you do not start on any difficulty higher than normal. I decided to, instead of a New Game Plus button, you just have to load your old save file. I made that mistake when I beat the game and I wanted to do New Game Plus. I just made a new game expecting I would get to keep all my stuff. I didn't. So I started on hard. And normally, the first enemy in the game takes about 8 shots. The game gives you 20 bullets. And so, it's pretty generous. On hard mode, that enemy takes 18 bullets, barring headshots and critical hits that automatically kill them. And that's normal. So every enemy in the game, with just the baseline handgun, takes 18 bullets. Or more, depending on what they are. So don't start on normal. I mean hard, because you do not have the guns or the ammo that it gives you to fight anything.
Just use your knife.
Yeah, just use your knife, I guess.
Just stab them 40 times.
Yeah, you can actually buy a better knife. I was amused to discover that.
Apparently, there's a lightsaber in the game.
Yes, there is. There is quite a few really unique weapons in the extra content shop, which is similar to RE3 remake. If you get achievements, you get points, and you can spend them at the in-game shop for different weapons. Like the first thing I bought was an infinite ammo machine gun called the Dragoon, and so I'm currently just blasting through the game on easy just to get money to max out weapons. Unlike RE3, where you can just buy everything flat out, this one has requirements for the weapons. You have to fully upgrade them in the campaign before you can buy their infinite ammo version, which is, I think, the same as RE5, which is how they did it in that one.
I believe so, yeah.
So if you finish every mercenary's course with an SS rank, you can then go and buy the blueprint for the lightsaber.
Yep, that sounds about right. I'm kind of torn on that. I like the ability to just buy, as long as I have the points for it, buy any weapon upgrade, or rather anything from that shop I want. But I'm not knocking it too hard, I suppose. It's fair, especially considering if you bought an infinite ammo, fully upgraded Magnum first off, you could straight up go to the hardest difficulty and just destroy it. So, got to earn it a little bit. And that's my low spoiler review of RE8. I would definitely recommend getting it. It's very fun. They fixed the movement.
Play 7 first.
Yes, yeah, you actually do want to play 7 first. It is directly related. It's a direct sequel. So.
Oh, yeah.
And Ethan continues to get his hands abused.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, the first thing that happens in the game is a werewolf bites your hand off. So, or half of it. He bites half your hand off. So you play the entire game with 3 fingers in your left hand.
Who needs hands?
Not Ethan.
I, I
Considering
understand.
he frequently uses the hand with only 3 fingers, like all the time. And why are you using that hand, Ethan?
Why would you
I,
not? 3 fingers
I,
is
under,
enough to use a gun. Or
I
a knife.
understand that as a game developer, the best way you can show damage on a character from like a first-person point of view is to deal damage to the things that you can see, which are your hands. But like,
Yeah,
my goodness, do they really go in on it?
they go heavy on it. Yeah.
I mean, the alternative would be to damage them in a way that would hobble their movement, i.e., the legs, so that you wouldn't be able to see it, but you'd be able to feel it, I guess.
Oh, they do that too.
Yeah.
Or damage the eye and then cut off half your vision.
That would be pretty cool. I'm surprised no one really does that. That's not a thing that you really see.
Yeah, that is cool, actually. Huh.
Like,
But
there's ways you can do that. It's just the hands get really just. Oh, I feel like icky when I look at like the stuff that his hands go through.
yeah, it's not great. For anyone who thinks it's kind of insane that he lives through all of the various things that he gets put through, finish the game. That is, there's an in-universe reason for that.
Mm.
I was fairly certain because of the events of Resident Evil 7 that there was a very good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
the thing in Resident Evil 7. It doesn't even require getting to the end of 8. There's an explanation in 7 for why he can do that, because he does it in 7 too. You know, so.
Just so I don't spoil 8, what is the reason they give in 7? It's been a while since I played that one.
It's the mold thing. He gets
The
mutated
mold.
by it. He gets cured, but, you know, he still has, like, regeneration and stuff.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that works. So,
Molded by it.
yeah, literally, yes. I know there's more I've done, but I can't really recall what. So, yeah, things have been going pretty okay. Looking forward to my surgery. Rather, looking forward to getting it over with. Come up here in about 2 months. Oh, the D&D shop I go to has started experimenting with actual campaigns, so they have like 3-session long story arcs instead of just constant one-shots. So that's really nice. I haven't been able to be a part of one yet because it kind of has to line up with my schedule.
Yeah,
Which,
I imagine that's why it's an experiment. It's just seeing whether they can get people to come in on the regular and actually participate week to week and stuff.
Exactly, yes, actually. We have a lot of people who want to do campaigns, but whenever the idea has been pitched, people don't sign up for it. So, yeah. Or there's been talk about weekday gaming nights, D&D nights on days that aren't Saturday. But finding people that are available in the evening on weekdays all the time consistently is not. It doesn't happen. So
yeah.
So yeah, that's understandable. I mean, I'm one of those people. My work starts at 5 p.m., so I can't do anything on weekdays really.
Yep.
So yeah, I believe that's me. If I remember anything else, I will rudely interrupt.
There's no one really to interrupt. I
Oh,
also played more Hades and Stardew Valley in my moments where I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to take a break for a bit. That's my usual. So, but that's pretty much everything. That's all I got.
I remembered it was Teacher Appreciation Week last week.
Did you feel appreciated?
Actually, yes, because I'm a substitute teacher, but I was subbing at the school that I usually sub at, the one that my mom works at. And the principal came through with a basket full of cookies, like big cookies, and he was like, he came by and he's like, class, this guy has been subbing here for a lot this year, and he's been a huge help, and he gave me a cookie. which is nice.
One.
It was a big cookie.
Oh, fair enough.
And
What kind of
then
cookie was it? Was it like
I was
chocolate
subbing for
or...
the same. It's chocolate with M&Ms on it.
Ooh,
Ooh.
okay.
And the next day, because I was subbing for the same class for 2 days in a row, this little girl came by and from the class, she gave me a box of chocolates,
Oh,
and that was very very nice. And I got art from the kids that they drew for me as well.
oh,
That's pretty great.
And then later on that week, I was subbing at the same school again, and they had um they had a truck come by that had like smoothies and iced coffees and stuff, and they got me a smoothie, and also they had like Chipotle come in and cater lunches, and I got to have a giant burrito.
yeah.
Nice.
So really, it was awesome.
A
That's
lot of this
awesome.
appreciation coming in the form of food.
Yes,
I mean, it's the easiest way to make someone happy.
food
That's
makes me
fair.
strong.
Yeah.
It gives me the power to teach children.
That
Yeah.
requires a lot of energy.
It does. It does.
I'm gonna be real. If someone just rocked up and said, "Hey, here's a burrito," I'd be like, "You are a nice person. I thank you so much."
I'll take a bullet for you.
Yosuke will now die for you.
Kids, that is a reference to. We're not gonna do that.
Oh man, those comics are so old. Oh god.
They
Yep.
are old.
That's like 2010.
I'm almost 30. God damn.
Fuck you.
Yeah. No, it's fine. I joke, honestly. I've made a lot of jokes recently about being almost 30 because I'm now officially 29, and I don't really care.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. I will note you talk about the fucking little shit asshole kids more often. Like, fuck kids. Fucking
I have noticed that.
figuratively, fuck
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah, I've noticed that I talk about the younger generation in a lot more increasingly negative, mostly joking ways.
How long until you're on your yard yelling at the children to get off? Get
I
off
mean,
this lawn!
I do that now, so negative.
Congratulations, you've gone from Zoomer to Boomer.
Yeah, it's a nice place to be. I just wish I had all the resources that most boomers have. It'd be nice.
With all those resources, you could buy soup.
Soup's pretty
Yeah.
good, man.
I could go to the soup store. I can afford to. Not look
Buy some clothing there.
Yeah.
That reference is also ancient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, when did that video first come out? I'm curious.
A while.
6 years ago, at least. Yeah, 6
Yeah.
years ago.
You
I mean,
remember
I was
when,
tired a while back. So.
like, the internet was just the younger generation, so all of it catered to us?
Oh yeah, man. No one's put it in words before, but that really kind of nails the vibe of the internet.
Yep. And now with like the aging people who were there when it started, and we're seeing a lot of stuff that doesn't really cater to us at all anymore. And yeah,
I know what you're talking about. Internet is still great for me.
Fortnite.
What are you talking about? That doesn't exist.
Even that really doesn't. I mean, yeah, it exists, but things aren't really made for it anymore that I've seen.
They did
That
the
is
Chun-Li
not
thing
anymore.
recently.
Ah,
I wasn't even aware.
yeah, I mean, anything.
The internet is such that you have your sections of internet that you go to, and you're like, "This is my section."
Yep.
If you don't belong in this section, then you're gonna be pushed out of this section.
Pretty much. Yeah, I mean, it's been commented by anime YouTubers a lot that just because you're a weeb doesn't necessarily mean you have something to talk about with another weeb. You guys could watch anime your entire lives and never have watched the same show.
I'm not quite sure that's true, but it's that sort of thing. Yes.
There is usually still big name shows or big appeal shows. Like Attack on Titan is probably the most recent, I don't know, cultural show to watch that a lot of people have seen at least a couple episodes of it. So there will always probably be shows like that are connective. But yeah, if you enjoy different genres, especially ones that are essentially opposed, yeah, you can go a long time without seeing the same show.
Man, remember when Sword Art Online was a big thing?
Yeah. You remember when Sword Art Online Abridged was a big thing?
Yeah.
Apparently, they have another episode coming out very soon. It's all
that's
done.
good.
Just waiting for them to release it. I think it's the My Hero Academia one, actually.
Everything is very okay, like something happened to anime, and that was the rise of the isekai.
Yeah.
And
it's where things like
coincidentally at the same time the fall of the isekai, because it wasn't going up anywhere.
I think it had a heyday there for maybe a year or two.
Yeah, it had a heyday, but it didn't like rise to anything. It's just fucking dragging us all down with it.
True.
But now we have I'm starting to see a lot more unique anime coming out, which I'm very happy about. By the way, everybody go watch Way of the House Husband. It's basically Yakuza.
I've heard nothing but good things, and honestly, it looks really funny.
It is Yakuza man is now doing ordinary things as a house husband, and all the shots are meant to evoke classic Yakuza material, and it's hilarious. If you like the sillier parts of the Yakuza games, you'll probably like Way of the House Husband. It's like I was thinking about it. It's just, oh, I remember. There is a Netflix series that I watched recently.
What's that?
Okay.
Yasuke.
Oh, that fucking thing.
Never even heard of that. What is it?
Yasuke is a anime.
Okay. So
about
historically there is an actual black samurai who was around during the Sengoku period. He was a black guy that went to Japan, and he worked for somebody, I don't know the details. And he
Nobunaga, I believe.
Was he? Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was a real dude who actually was a black samurai historically. And was it Netflix? I think it was Netflix. Netflix did an anime about it. Missed the point a little bit.
Yeah, it's about 6 episodes long. And if you're looking for something talking about the history of this guy, you're not going to find that. What you are going to find is an anime of apparently 20 years after the fall of Nobunaga, and apparently the bad guys have mechs.
Yep.
And
okay.
There's some sort of evil daimyo that has powerful magic, and Yasuke is working as this kind of boatsman who ends up having to protect and escort this girl who has superpowers and is going to be the key to defeating the evil daimyo.
And while all of the robots and magic and sorceresses and all of that shit is going on, every time Yasuke meets someone, they're like, holy shit, you're a black person, while a giant robot is in the far distance blowing up Kyoto or whatever.
Yeah.
Which, in a
Interesting.
sense, is actually an interesting commentary on the xenophobia of Japan. If you take it like just
it's
on
accurate.
face value. But holy shit.
Animation wise, though, it's very well animated, and it's kind of fun to watch. Like the action and the story, like I had to suspend my disbelief really hard. Um, but it tells a story, and I think it tells it okay. Um, I have I have some issues with some things, and it's like this character has powers. What are these powers? We're not gonna explain those. Just enjoy the visual craziness nonsense.
Yeah.
And like I get it, it's like 6 episodes, but
I would have loved to have watched just the concept of Yasuke working as a samurai in the Sengoku period.
yes, that's
That,
actually what I thought. That's actually what I thought I was watching when I started watching it.
yeah. I would have
Because
been 100% down for that. All this other bullshit, I just don't care anymore. I'm never going to watch it.
I thought like, oh man, are we gonna finally have a show based around him becoming a samurai and then working and all that, because there's not a lot that's known about Yasuke. Uh, so maybe they did the research and they dug up some information and they can make it into a show, and
No,
then it's all
robots and magical girls.
robots, magical girls. There's this other black guy who's there and he can summon a stand. That's kind of cool. I don't know why he can
Huh.
summon a stand, but he can.
All right.
And apparently the girl has ties. The magical girl has ties to the Catholic Church. I don't.
Is her
I
name
was
Joan?
no. I was very confused by a lot of things that happened in this show. But hey,
Is it good because you're describing a wasted premise?
oh yeah, no, I liked it. I did like the action. I did like the characters. It's just you have to divorce it from reality, which is unfortunate.
Fair enough. I suppose looking at something like an alternate universe is not out of the realm of possibility for anime. Pretty common, actually.
It does still sound like a wasted premise, though.
Well, yes, but at least it's not bad in its execution of being a different universe, it seems,
Yeah, I guess.
based on just what I'm hearing.
It's 6 episodes long. It probably should have been longer, but it was fine. I liked it. The action's fun. The
Does it feel
characters are
rushed,
like.
or just that you'd like to see more of it?
It feels like there's explanations that were cut at points. Well, hey, you know what? In November I get Chainsaw Man, so I'm happy. I want Chainsaw
That is something I'm looking forward to.
I don't know what that's going to look like in anime form, because the art is so rough.
I don't know how they're going to do it and be taken seriously. Thing, because like you can obviously do like One Punch Man style hyper detail briefly, but so far that's the only kind of thing that's been mostly used for humor in most shows. So
Yeah.
What else are we looking forward to? I feel like that's a question worth asking. I mean, Zero said that fucking Tales of game, like whatever, but you know, I'm being a
Tales of
dismissive
Arise.
asshole for fun. But so what else is there? There's got to be other stuff.
I mean, the big one for me was Resident Evil 8. So now that I have that, I'm just going to be playing this for a while. I don't think there were any more games on the horizon that I was really excessively looking forward to. None spring to mind, anyway.
Ratchet and Clank next month.
God of War probably next year. Like they said,
God of
2021, but
War.
it's not going to be 2021. It's probably next year.
No, that'll definitely be next year. I mean, after watching it, I'm definitely looking forward to Invincible season 2. I saw a minor spoiler that they have a Power Girl equivalent, and I'm looking forward to her showing up.
Wonder why.
It's not actually because she's a sexy woman. I'm genuinely curious about what kind of mentality she has.
Fair enough.
Oh my goodness! A lot of the manga that I'm reading are being like turned into anime that's coming out right soon. That's
Huh. Well, that's cool. Which ones are you looking forward to?
There is Bogatachi no Remake, which is basically old game developer is working for a crappy company, and he's about to lose his job, and he regrets his life decisions because he wanted to be successful and to make things, and he ends up traveling 10 years into the past and working his butt off to try to get into a good school for people who want to make things. And it goes into like there's various people, like there's a writer friend that he gets to meet, and filmmaker, and they go into a lot of the production and stuff on making these large scale creative projects, and it's actually pretty well written.
Okay.
Like oh no, we got to make a movie, but crap, we can only borrow the film equipment for a day. Oh no, we didn't get a chance to do the film equipment. How are we going to do this? And they have to react and adapt and use like knowledge of how to get a project to completion. And I think that's just is a really cool premise. And the manga's still coming out. The other one was Diata 5 Seconds to Battle, which was a manga that I'd recommended before on the podcast. Which that's coming out in the summer. Alongside that, gosh, that's a lot of good anime coming out.
That's good. Honestly, it's nice to have things to look forward to, especially with the anime industry, which doesn't always provide.
Yeah. What's going on? I'm just looking at it like, wow, everything is being adapted. It got a second half of Slime reincarnated as a slime. Season 2 is coming out in the summer as well. Yay!
Oh, okay.
Fish will be happy.
I might actually watch that alone by itself. I didn't watch the first season because I already read the manga.
Yeah,
It got a little boring.
I read the light novel or the web novel to a pretty far ahead point, but seeing it all adapted is definitely making it stick in my head more. All right.
My
How about you,
Hero
Casey?
Gacha is coming
Anything?
out next month, or this month, or sometime in the next 30 days, probably. So that's a thing.
Wait, what is? I didn't hear that.
The My Hero Gacha.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you're gonna play it, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna play it. Assuming they don't
Gotta get-
I mean, at least
blacklist
give
it from
a shot,
BlueStacks. That's the thing they
you
might
gotta
do.
get that SSR Miriko.
First,
I mean, that's
Mirko, and second, no, I don't.
Mirko. Gotta get that SSR Small Might.
I feel like he's just gonna be a default thing. Like you're just gonna have him regardless.
I feel like he'll be your starting character. Yeah.
Yeah.
That feels like a safe assumption.
SSR Todoroki.
Oh, fuck that guy.
SSR Endeavor.
No, not really.
How do you differentiate between the SSRs and the SRs?
Likeability, presumably.
Is the dog policeman an SR? The one who's got a dog for a head?
I
he
feel
gonna
like
be
he'd
in
be
there?
an R. Arr.
Who in class? You see, you introduce the SSR and the SR and everything, and it's just like, okay, now who in this class of students is worth less than the others?
I mean,
Well,
that's
the ones who
not
aren't
hard when
main
they all have
characters.
abilities.
Okay, Mineta, you're an R unit.
No, he isn't. Well, he might are, but he isn't an R. Uh, that's a dog joke. Yeah, like I feel like there's a bunch of characters that could just be like ordinary, boring, like regular crap, nothing units, and then you have like the ones that actually matter that get the R version and the SR version and the SSR version. Like that's gonna happen.
Don't you want to get Summer Yayarozu?
Yes.
I mean, that's fair. Yeah.
Oh, oh no. It's called Ultra Impact.
What? The
The
game?
gotcha game, yeah, Ultra Impact.
No, it's not.
The one that I'm seeing
It's
on
called
this,
The Strongest Hero.
The Strongest Hero. Okay, that's a different mobile game. They're doing two?
One might be a knockoff version. Like Bleach has a couple of those.
Yeah. Yeah, Bleach has quite a few gotcha team builder, hero collector, whatever.
Oh. Look at all of these characters that you can play as.
Look at all these
Oh.
characters you can buy.
Yeah.
Don't you want? Haven't you always wanted to play as a tape guy?
Sarah?
I'd be
Yeah,
alright with
Sarah.
playing this tape guy. Sure.
Yeah, you want to play as I'll play as tape guy.
Sure.
He's what's his name's favorite character, Orikoshi's.
Really?
He's a Spider-Man fan, and Zero is basically
Oh.
thing.
I will say this: at least it's like 3D models and action, like character action style gameplay.
Yep.
Like I appreciate that a lot.
Like it is a modern game, like so it is designed for modern sensibilities where, you know, Fate Go came out in like 2015, 2016, so it still looks it. Whereas this is a brand new game, thus comes with like modern mobile gaming sensibilities where Fortnite and PUBG and all sorts of other bullshit are on mobile. So if you can't do that, don't fucking bother.
Do that as minimum, yeah.
Is it not really on the App Store for like pre-registration?
It is.
Strongest hero, not strongest Jiro.
Well, you probably could make the strongest hero if you wanted.
That would be the world's. I mean, that's a great power. Your sandwiches are always perfect.
Okay,
Comes out.
sure, that too, but I was more talking about the character named Jiro.
Oh, I mean, I guess like she's a one-note nothing, which is sad.
Comes
to see.
out
Aw.
June 1st.
I mean, she is deliberately not a one-note character. She's a musician. She plays lots of notes.
That is a fair point, and credit to you for that. She just has no screen time. That show's 10/10.
Yeah, no, she's not. She's not fucking 10/10. 10/10
No.
would be. No, Hagakure probably got it worse. Who would be 10/10? Kendo? Kendo might be 10/10.
Yeah, Kendo's 10-10.
Yeah.
Even though Kendo is now getting a bit more of a spotlight in the Class A versus Class B arc.
Yeah, she gets that, and then she goes away forever. Like she's not
Yeah,
coming
basically.
back.
There's a lot of good characters in My Hero.
Yeah, there are. That's why it's good for a gacha game. That's why I'm kind of looking forward to it, even though it's another gacha game. And I don't.
Get your SSR max power All Might, and just then find out that the Christmas version of All Might is more powerful.
Oh, they're gonna do like the fucking original All Might, where he's still got his eyes proper and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's gonna be a thing.
Young
Yeah,
Might.
I mean,
Yeah.
any version of the character that has been in the show, yeah, I'll do that.
Oh, what if they do a Vigilantes collaboration?
Oh yeah, they probably will. Yeah.
There's characters in Vigilantes that only show up in Vigilantes.
Captain
And younger
Celebrity
versions.
and stuff.
Yeah.
And young Aizawa.
Mm-hmm.
Be kind of a waste if they didn't. So yeah, I'm all for that.
Knuckle Duster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, like Vigilantes I think is getting near its end as well.
Yeah. Well, all of it is because Horikoshi wants to take a break and then do his sequel where everyone's an adult and he can do stuff and not get shit for it, I guess.
Okay, but like adult Hero Academia character roster, like are we still taking the perspective of Deku? Are we going maybe focusing on a different character as our main viewpoint? I'm curious.
I
I
think
hope
it's
it's different
still
Deku.
going to be Deku. And if memory serves, he threw around the title of My Hero Agency at one point.
My Hero Age. Oh, that's great.
That is pretty good. I like that.
That's it's still MHA, but it's now agency, which is
Yeah.
an established thing in the lore, and that's that's great.
I don't know whether he's actually
Actually,
still going to do that, but yeah, that's the one that I heard once upon a time. It was years ago.
Deku trying to go and form his own agency and is like, I am a big hero man who has done big hero things, but
Nobody
I can't
cares.
get anybody to work for me.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Nobody's applying.
Yeah. You're yesterday's news and you still look like a stupid weird green bunny rabbit, so fuck it. No thanks.
Ochako, do you want to work for me? Oh, you got another job somewhere else? Okay.
Hmm.
Brutal.
Because he has to climb up the rankings of the heroes.
Yeah.
Just like No More Heroes, except without murdering everybody else on your way there.
Well,
Wow.
it could take a
not
dark
intentional.
turn.
Yeah.
You know,
Dun, 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 dun.
25-year-old
Plus Ultra.
jaded Deku, after saving the world, gets no respect and decides, fuck it, I'm just gonna become All for One and murder my way to the top.
If there are no more supervillains because you killed them all, then
Yeah.
the world is safer.
Oh, I hope that game's good. I hope it's good. Because I would be willing to partake in it if it is very good.
Yeah, I don't actually own a lot of like My Hero Academia stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like the only thing I own is I have the manga volume in which they fight Stain.
Hmm.
Because
That is pretty cool.
Because I like the art in that particular fight a lot. But
Yeah.
Other
For
than
ones
that-
to have, that's probably a good one.
other than that, nah. I'm curious. Amazon, is there any My Hero Academia merch? Probably a lot.
I assume there's a lot.
Ah, there's a high school backpack.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, okay.
Also, a hoodie in the UA student uniform colors.
Ah, there's socks with characters on them.
Cool.
There's a Hawks figure.
Mm.
There's a Todoroki Funko Pop.
There's a Hawks
Nice.
figure. Okay, cool. There is the one hero that is unequipped. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right.
There's a Bakugo hat that looks kind of cool because it has
What?
it has this hero design with the orange X and everything on it.
Oh, right.
Oh, for some reason I thought it was just like those stupid goggles he wears and then his hair.
Yeah, I literally
He'd
just
be
thought it
wearing
was his
essentially
hair.
a
I thought
wig.
it was going to be just like a hat that was just his hair on top of it.
There's a cool looking Deku figure that is not yet out. Cool.
That's pretty minor, honestly. I expected
Yeah,
more.
you would probably do better on Japanese shop sites.
Here's a $100 All Might figure. Looks pretty good.
Pretty cheap for figures, depending on which company.
Oh, here's a Deku figure. There's only 19 left in stock, and it's $100, and his eyes look like they're too far apart. Okay, I'm done.
All right. So, we need to do the Patreon thing.
Yes. Thank you very much for everybody who donated to us on Patreon. You guys are awesome, and thank you, really.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank you very much to Sailor of House Thunderbird for your $1 donation. Thank you to Vale for your $10 donation. Thank you to Buy Fresh for your $20 donation. Thank you to Ryu for your $3.50. Thank you to Greek Guy for your $1 donation. Thank you to Ethan F for your $10 donation. Thank you to Bomber BCM for your $20 donation. Thank you to the Crossbrain for your $10 donation. And thank you to Troper37 for your $5 donation, supporting us for 7 years.
Jesus.
Guys, I was less than 20 when we started this, and now I'm
hate you.
26.
I hate you. I hate you so much.
Oh. Hey. There's a UA wallet.
You should be in
Oh, of
those
course there
schools you
is.
teach at. Fucking goddamn it. Tiny person.
Okay. I found something. I found an All for One that has the big fist. Look at this.
Okay.
Look at this.
I see you're still single. Still a good joke. That's still a good joke.
Friday nights are pretty lonely. They have masks, face masks with toga on it.
Okay, I'm into that.
Oh yeah, I was very confused for some reason. I thought you were talking about Hagakure, which is Toru. It's a different one, and that would be an interesting mask. I don't know how you would do that.
I mean, it would just be clear plastic. Like,
Yeah. So yeah, thanks everybody who donates. I did
that
say
first person was new, actually.
They're relatively new. They've been donating for a couple months now. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks. Thanks. Always good to have new people.
Taylor of House Thunderbird.
I did promise to do a spoilery thing for Falcon and Winter Soldier, I think, earlier in the episode.
You want to talk about it?
Slicer, have you seen that, and do you want to leave?
Yeah, I've seen it all. I'm good.
Okay, cool. So yeah, spoilers from
I
this
have to
point
leave in
on.
half an hour, so if we go longer than that, I have to start getting ready for work. But yeah, I can be
That's
here for
fine.
half
It
an hour.
won't take that long. So that was a good show. I enjoyed it a lot. I like that they carefully built the what happens in the last episode when Falcon takes the shield and becomes Captain America.
I feel like the entire show was leading up to that moment, or at
Yeah.
least the mainline plot was, and I like
Yeah.
that. It was
They
nice.
they very
It was
slowly and carefully built that up, what it means for him specifically to be Captain America, and that no, it's not as easy as just what the fuck is the original Captain America's name?
Steve.
Thank you. Of Steve just handing him the shield and that's it. He's Captain America. It's not that simple. I like that they spent the time to actually build what he would represent on top of just being Captain America. Like, it is not the same. And that, I can't speak to the experience, obviously, being British and very, very white. But it looked, from my very limited perspective, like they handled it well.
Mm.
Yeah, from my white American perspective, yeah, it looked pretty accurate based on what I've seen. If not toned up a little bit, it gets worse.
I did check, and the show was written by a two-man team. It was a white man and a black man, so I don't know how much that speaks to authenticity. No idea. But an effort was made. I suppose. I honestly can't speak to this, and I feel like I'm tap dancing around things, even though this is, supposed to be a frank discussion, I guess.
The show isn't perfect.
It's not, no. The whole what's his name? The Zemo?
Yeah.
He felt kind of extraneous by the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair.
I felt like the main quote unquote antagonist, I guess. That girl, I can't remember her name. I feel like I've heard this mentioned before, but apparently the early plot involved specifically like a disease that is happening. There's like a worldwide pandemic, and her people are trying to steal medicine for those people because it's not being distributed. But that had to be cut because COVID happened.
Right.
That plot line.
I mean, I don't see why. That would be even more impactful if we had another thing that is like, oh, this is very real.
But her desperation makes a lot more sense under that sort of circumstance.
In this one, she's just kind of an extremist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, she falls flat.
She's utterly unsympathetic because of how she does things, not just in the macro of what she's actually doing, blowing things up, killing people all over the place, but the micro of how she's doing it in terms of her organization. She will do it, not tell anyone, and then they're all culpable because they were part of her group.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can see that in action alienate her existing group. So I did appreciate that.
Yeah,
they're not really on board with a lot of things she does.
Yeah, but at the same time, it undermines like what she's actually fighting for. If not everyone is as gung ho about it as she is, like even her in group. Like if she has to, if she has to basically have them by the balls because she's making all these extreme decisions on her own, if she has to force them to cooperate with her because they're screwed anyway if they don't, then what are they actually fighting for? Which actually was an interesting thing that they were fighting for. Like, I feel like she could have convinced them, maybe, and actually done it and been charismatic about it, but they decided not to do that and just have her be a duplicitous asshole instead.
The problem is they kind of toyed with that idea. The problem is that takes time, and they're being kicked out of their homes now. Extremism gets results faster, but it's not good gains. That was that was one of the bigger flaws of her character that the show does highlight and is very aware of, and I did enjoy that.
So yeah.
Yeah. I actually, okay. So the whole thing with John Walker.
Oh boy.
I feel like he doesn't quite. Okay, I watched the show twice. Once with my family and once with a friend. And the first time through, I was like, I kind of like him as a villain. The second time through, I'm like, I don't. When it's like, you are now you look like a U.S. agent. And he's like, yeah, I'm back.
That doesn't scan as well when spoken than it does words on a page. Because U.S. agents are already a thing.
And I'm just like, I don't feel like you deserve this treatment that you're getting in terms of the positives.
What it looks like they're doing is not... His arc looks like it's only half complete, and I imagine that's because it is. Like, they're building something bigger for him.
Yeah.
Of what he's going to be.
I definitely found him much more interesting as a sort of antagonistic force than the primary antagonist of this, because there's that line when he's having that sort of, I guess, tribunal or whatever, when they're like dishonorably discharging him.
You built me.
You built me, right? That line, everybody remembers that line because it always goes back to Steve was a good man and not a good soldier. And John Walker is a great soldier.
Yeah, I can attest. I was watching that trial scene with a vet, ex-military, and yeah, it's impactful. That was some emotional lines they were spitting out, and so yeah, for the people who those would be relevant for, it's meaningful dialogue. So they did a really good job on that section.
And it helps help everybody to understand that he is a byproduct of this system, and he did what he is trained to do, which is kill the enemy.
Yeah. The one thing that was weird to me was the bit where he seemed to be maybe schizophrenic. Like,
kind of. They pushed the stress mental breakdown angle a little bit too far.
Yeah.
And went into full-on mental illness.
Yeah, when it got to the point where Falcon is going in to talk with what's-her-name. It is really sad that she is what's-her-name. Yeah, it's really sad that she's so forgettable we don't even get to remember her name. But he's going in to talk with her because that's his job. He is a therapist. And John gives him 10 minutes, and they're all waiting outside for whatever's going to happen. And
it was Carly.
It was what?
Carly.
Okay, yeah. You would think I, of all people, would remember that name, but never mind. But yeah, she's they're having that conversation, and then outside, John is suddenly just sort of hearing voices in his head, and I'm like, are they going in that direction for how this character is going to play out? He's actually secretly schizophrenic and has been in the military for like 10 years or so, and no one's noticed. So it was a little weird that they went in that direction.
That would be a brutal, if realistic, assessment of our military health doctrine.
So. In Venice, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that part of it, I guess that's not what they were going for, but they depicted whatever they were going for really poorly.
I I know you mentioned that like Zemo is he's kind of there too long.
Mm.
I do like when he's around because he adds a new sort of dynamic to just Bucky and Sam.
Yeah,
I think that's a really good way to put it. He overstays his welcome.
mm. He's a wrench in, like, he's a spanner in the works. Why did I say wrench? For that one episode where what's her name, Sharon, is part of
Yeah.
things, and then he kind of is just there being a spanner in the works still in the next episode, and it's not, he doesn't need to be there anymore. He's just kind of an encumbering thing that is just hanging over the story, and we don't really need him anymore. And then we got the Wakandan cameos, and okay, I don't really know where they came
That's
from
cool,
or why
I
they're
guess.
here, but all right.
The show is a lot like in the same vein that WandaVision takes a lot of that strange magical Doctor Strange flavor of things are going on, but also adds on its own unique flavor of classical television and sitcoms and this and that. Falcon the Winter Soldier tries very much to be basically a Captain America movie without Captain America. Um, and you can tell that a lot of the writing and the way the characters are portrayed and the focus on the world and it being more realistic, that's all there, you know? It has a coherent tone, I guess.
Mm.
Um,
I can agree with that. Yeah, the show has a different feeling to it that is entirely unique to it. I appreciate that about it.
I'm very interested to see what the Loki show is like.
Mm.
Because is it gonna be are we going Ragnarok with it?
I think we are. It's going to be time travel shenanigans, so that's going to be interesting. I don't know what we're going to do with that, but I'm excited to find out. We haven't talked about Bucky at all.
Bucky. Okay. Bucky is a character who is going through trying to atone for his mistakes or misdeeds that he had no control over and make things right so that, you know, even if he didn't have control over himself, he still did the thing. He's a good wingman, I guess, in this.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot to do on his own, which I think ties into the Wakanda stuff. Like, yeah, they gave him an arm, and now they're here talking to him. And now they're here in the show, and now they're going away again. And that's it for them. And they have nothing really more to do with Bucky, but he's there to interact with them to make them make sense. And it feels like, aside from that, his purpose is to argue with Falcon about the shield, about how he should have just taken the shield, and then later on realizing, okay, we didn't understand that just giving you the shield would not be as easy as that. And that's pretty much it as far as his arc goes, except for the bookends of the beginning and end, which was that one old Japanese guy whose son he killed. And he can't admit it in the first episode, but he goes and admits it in the last episode, and that's his arc. That's it. It feels like this show really wasn't about him at all.
It was not, but they needed to get him from point A to point B emotionally, and I feel like they did that.
Yeah, I guess.
He is a changed character by the last episode.
I like seeing there was one scene I did actually really like, which was getting to see how the Wakandans tested. It was like, okay, you're clear of the brainwashing. You're good, and then he just starts to like break down in tears. And like that's a a nice touch. It helps flesh out the character that we can see that and see his reaction. Because these shows have been doing something I've liked a lot, which is in the movies and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, these have all been side characters.
Yeah.
In WandaVision, in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, these are side characters, and we're giving them screen time, we're giving them character development so you can understand what their deal is, where they're at. And that way they can serve more as the backbone of the cinematic universe.
Mm. Yeah,
Because
because
some people left.
just having Captain America suddenly be Falcon would be a hard sell for audiences that didn't really get a lot of time to spend with Captain Falcon. You know,
And
he
getting
is
to
a side
see-
character. He is, you know, Steve's number 2 in the second film, and not much in the films that follow. He doesn't really have anything else.
We know he has a family. We know where he lives. We know his whole personal conflict and growth, and you know, we know a lot more about him
Yeah,
as a character.
which is important if he's going to be Captain America in future films. Which I hope. I really hope we get some films where he is Captain America. That would be very nice.
Ideally, as like the main character instead of just one of the ensemble.
One would hope, but you know, the show made some good points about a black man suddenly being Captain America. So,
Yeah.
I think it was specifically stated as a line that the United States would not accept a black man as Captain America. That wasn't just talking about insetting.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, how many people have complained about Thor being a woman?
Thor being a woman had other problems with it, most notably that it's what's her name? The one who was
Yeah.
Padme.
Well, it wasn't. Yeah. Oh.
That
the
being said-
actress problems. Okay.
That being said, Taika Waititi is working on that one. And
I hope. I can hope. I will wait for reviews on that one, because
because
what's her name? Please tell me what's her name. I want to. If I'm gonna talk shit, I should know. her
Natalie
fucking
Portman?
name. Thank you, Natalie Portman. Does not seem enthused about doing this film. She stopped doing the Thor films after, like, I think she was barely in the second one, which was fair because the second one was shit. But she doesn't like doing this stuff, which is not a great sign for, you know, someone in a role. And the whole concept of female Thor in the first place was one of those cynical, let's stir up some controversy and get people buying the comics out of hatred thing. That's not a good basis for a story, but I have a lot of trust for Taika Waititi because he's a good filmmaker. He knows what he's doing. So I hope, because, you know, I still like these films and I want more of them. So I hope they still make good films.
Jeff Goldblum appears in this.
I mean, he was fine in 3. I was fine.
We got Jeff Goldblum. We got the Guardians of the Galaxies, all of them. We I think we'll be good,
I hope.
because it would be one thing if it was just Thor and Natalie Portman, but you got the Guardians of the Galaxy. You got friggin' Jeff Goldblum. You got Valkyrie. You got Taika Waititi doing all this, and I'm pretty I got pretty high hopes for this one. They handle it well. And the next movie we have to watch is Black Widow in July.
Oh,
Ready for
Christ.
Black Widow? We got 4 superhero movies coming out this year. Do you know that?
I didn't.
I'm really trying to care about the Black Widow movie, but I just don't.
We got
Why did they time it like this?
Black Widow, then Shang-Chi, then Eternals, then Spider-Man. The next year you get Doctor Strange, Thor, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, which is the Black Panther movie without Chadwick Boseman.
I have no idea what they're gonna do.
I don't know. What's their universe thing? I imagine they're gonna do some green screen shit with his face at least for a little while.
And then you have the sequel to Captain Marvel called The Marvels.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch that one. Still a terrible character. But yeah, so Black Widow, fine. It's going to be a vehicle not for bringing back what's her name, Natasha Romanoff, Scarlett Johansson. It's going to be to introduce the new Black Widow. That's what's going to happen.
Oh, okay. See, in that one sentence alone, that advertising could have absolutely done. I'm now interested in the Black Widow movie.
I feel like it would be a spoiler. That's what I'm assuming it's going to be. Because there was another Black Widow in the comics. Her name was Yelena... Russian names. Yelena Belova. She was a villainous Black Widow, if I remember right. Like, it was sort of a counterpoint to S.H.I.E.L.D. There was going to be a more aggressive superhero team with alternate versions of the characters. And this other Black Widow was one of them.
I have a quote for you.
Mm-hmm.
Director Kate Shortland said that Romanoff would be handing Belova the baton in the film, which would propel another female storyline. So basically, yeah, no, they're basically using this to be like, we got another Black Widow. We
called it.
We got a spare.
Yes, go me. Yeah, I haven't read any of the promotion, just to be clear about.
I just found it on the wiki page.
Yeah, it's good to know I was right, because I like being right, but also because it makes the film more interesting and less pointless.
Yeah,
That's
so
fair.
it's not pointless. It is just a guys, we need to rebuild the Avengers.
Yeah. Remember all those cool characters we killed off? We kind of got shit right now.
We're gonna rebuild them. We still have Spider-Man. Yeah. And Thor. Doctor Strange. Scarlet Witch.
Captain
There have been
America.
weirder Avengers party compositions.
Oh yeah. They can start doing stuff with the characters that they got back, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? That'd be further down the line, but it could happen. But yeah, that's pretty much all my thoughts on Falcon and Winter Soldier, which was the thing we were talking about to start with. Any other thoughts before we close this out?
I appreciate that they handled racism in a way that was very realistic. Although I think they could have gone harder, but I think that would have alienated their audience. So
Yeah, a little bit.
I think they really did a good job.
I liked the show. I liked that they actually had at least a bit of him training with the shield and showing that like this isn't exactly easy to do. You gotta work for it, and even then.
It was weirdly framed though, because they did the thing with like them passing it back between them, Falcon and
there's a
Soldier.
montage.
Yeah, there is, but the montage comes after they just have them casually throw it against trees and shit and bounce it back and forth between each other. And then suddenly he can't do it.
I guess going to point A to point B in a straight line and then back to him is easier than, the obstacle course that he sets up in the end.
But that's the thing. They don't just do bounce it against the tree and it comes back and the other one catches it. They do bounce, 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 and it comes back and they catch it.
Yeah, once or twice. It bounces 2 to 3 times.
Yeah. So it was weird for them to be able to do that, and then suddenly he has to learn how to just throw and catch it.
Well, he was learning how to throw while running and catch it while running. and also like throw in the middle of combat, in the middle of a flip or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Trick throws.
Yeah, those parts made sense. It was just a little weird to not be able to do the basics again.
Yeah,
Understandable.
I will say I do like how some of the fight scenes are very creative with how they have it, like the fight on the two trucks, but also just whenever Falcon has to fight and he uses his jetpack
Oh,
to
that was so
basically
cool.
propel himself
I
further.
love
That's
that
always
shit.
so cool.
Yeah. See, that's
It's
the
just-
kind of thing that made me like Falcon in the films, because he always did that kind of shit. It was really cool.
I'm not a super soldier, but if I propel my foot with a rocket,
Yeah.
let's see how that goes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and Sharon Carter, what do we think of that whole plot thing that's probably going to go nowhere?
Sharon.
The fact that Slicer has to take a second to remember who she was.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
the power broker.
she
Yeah.
was the agent that helped them out and was like, hey, we'll give you a pardon if you help us out. And she's like, yeah, okay. And then it turns out she's evil.
I don't understand her character arc.
Yeah, no.
I don't
I mean, that was
understand.
just a lot of. That was just a lot of. I don't know, comic book villainy, I guess.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
She's barely a person.
Yeah, that's accurate. She's a walking plot device, but that sums up a lot of characters, sadly.
Do you need something? Yeah, okay, I'll get it for you. I want a pardon. Okay. No, never mind about the pardon. Okay. Oh, we got your pardon anyways. Cool. I'm going to go use this pardon to get my job back and then steal technology and sell it to other people.
Yeah. Why? I guess she did some stuff to survive and became a super criminal underground overlord, and then she's just that now, I guess.
Remember the part where your name is Sharon Carter? And you were an agent and you worked with Captain America, and I guess you feel betrayed because like you had to be out on your own for like 5 years.
Yeah,
But
some things were going on during those 5 years, but okay.
You still have, an entire lifetime of
she's like 30.
being a decent
Yeah.
person. But I guess these 5 years were enough to make it so that even when you get a chance to be pardoned and go back home, you're still gonna do treasonous crimes.
I mean, hatred of the heart and feeling like abandonment and disillusionment is kind of an ongoing theme in Marvel. So, I mean, spot on in that respect, but
she needed more time. So much
Yeah.
more time for this.
She needed a lot more time because her character was barely established beforehand, and
It is a
now it's like-
6-episode series. She shows up in 3. Is there for most of that episode, and then she basically goes away for the rest of the show. She's in like half a scene for the rest of the episodes.
literally walking out of her pardon meeting, and it's just like, hey, yeah, no, they totally let me in. I'm gonna go sell you all the secret stuff, and it's gonna be great. Just right on the steps outside the Capitol building.
Yep. Doesn't
Like,
even wait to get a secure
come on.
line. Nope. Just
Come
gonna...
on. Come on. You're in the middle of really? Yeah, no, I didn't like her. I feel like she was poorly done.
Yeah, undercooked. Oh well. She won't be important again, so that's fine.
probably not in the mainline plot. Yeah.
Don't worry. U.S. agent has to go fight the power broker in a thrilling crime drama.
Yeah, I feel like that's a show no one's gonna watch. Yeah, so That's pretty. I think that pretty much covers everything about the show in one go. Yeah.
It's like 1 p.m. now, and I'm hungry.
Yeah, me too. I need to take a shower.
My alarm for work just like literally a second ago when it started going off.
All
so
right. Well, thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, listening. Unless you watched, I mean, it's a nice logo, but still.
Thank you guys for clicking on the YouTube video and watching whatever you're watching while you're listening to us.
Yeah. Watch fucking Gura play Devil May Cry 5. It's really wholesome and hilarious.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no, you'd have to listen to that too. Never mind. Don't do that. Do that after.
Watch. Okay, but the Gura whole when Gura and the rest of the Hollow English people play Pummel Party, and then there's like Cat Gura begging for Ina not to blow her up and murder her. No. And then Kira's like, "You're a fake cat. Shut up and pee in your bed." It was great.
Watching the crossover between Bishoujo and a couple of Hololive members playing Among Us was really fun.
I fucking love VTubers, man. They're fucking great.
Yeah.
That's the best thing that came out of 2020. This VTuber explosion. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you guys.